Good morning. For those I've not met before, my name's Bridget and I'm the vicar of two local churches, the Good Shepherd and St Peter's. And I'm delighted to be able to join you again this morning, albeit on video because of the current COVID restrictions. A few months ago, I went to the Reach climbing wall in Woolwich for a taster session. Maybe you've been there yourself at some point in the past. And when I arrived, we got given a harness that we had to put on, and then there were some ropes that were attached to the harness. And then the instructor that was working with our small group said, right, you're all fixed up, you've got a partner who's belaying you, I'd like you to climb up this 60-foot wall. At this point, I should tell you that I am afraid of heights. So I went up the wall as fast as I possibly could because I figured the sooner I got up there, the sooner I could come down again. But when I got up to the top, the instructor shouted up to me, okay, Bridget, what I'd like you to do now is to take your hands off the holds on the wall and to put them onto the rope and then to lean right back so you're almost horizontal with the floor. Every part of my body was trembling just at the prospect of doing that. But she was really encouraging. She said, don't worry about it. Your partner on the floor is holding on to you. She won't let you go. Take your hands off the wall, put them on the rope and lean back. And so I did just that. And I didn't do it because I was confident that the rope was strong. I did it because I was confident that I had a partner who was holding on to me. I wonder when life gets hard, when you're out of your comfort zone or when something's happening that makes you feel frightened, what is it that you hold on to? Or who is it that you hold on to? Just before Christmas, I took a friend's wedding, and for this wedding, they had chosen a reading from the Bible. And it's a reading that comes from the Old Testament from a book called Ecclesiastes that's often described as wisdom literature. So I thought I would share some biblical wisdom with you that helps build on that story that I've just told. This is what it says. 2 people are better than 1. They get more done by working together. If one person falls, the other can help them up. But it's bad for the person who is alone when they fall because no one is there to help them. If 2 huddle up together, they will be warm, but a person alone will not be warm. An enemy might defeat 1 person, but 2 people together can defend themselves. A rope that has 3 parts wrapped together is hard to break. The message of that reading is that the best way to cope when life is hard is by having a friend or a companion that you can rely on, so that you can work together. A bit like me having my partner, my person belaying for me at the bottom of the climbing wall, holding on to me, which enabled me to let go. But it's not just Christian wisdom that says we should rely on each other when life is hard. A few months ago, I read an article in New Scientist magazine, and it was saying that the most recent archaeological and genetic research suggests that human beings have survived, our species of human being, Homo sapiens, we have survived not because we were the strongest or the fittest, but actually because of our compassion and our tolerance and our desire to make connections with each other. Very simply, when life was hard, our species of humans survived because we shared food and we shared resources and we shared ideas about how you coped facing the harsh realities of life. I suppose you might say it is survival of the kindest rather than survival of the fittest. It's interesting, isn't it, that Christian wisdom and scientific research are both suggesting that the best thing that we can do when life gets challenging is to stick together, to partner up and to rely on each other. I don't know how you're feeling at the moment, but I know that a lot of people find the month of January really hard. It's cold and dark and there's nothing to look forward to, and it can be quite a miserable month. And on top of that, we're dealing with another wave of COVID and all the challenges and restrictions that brings, just I think when a lot of us were hoping it was behind us. So how can we stick together? How can we work together to get through some of the challenges we're facing at the moment? Well, I guess at the most basic level, we can continue to keep sanitising our hands and wearing masks and following the rules and restrictions that we're asked to follow. A lot of us are fed up with it. I am definitely fed up with it. But it is one of the ways in which we support each other, which we express solidarity with each other, and in which we care for each other as well. So that's the most basic way that we can work together. But there are other things as well. I'm aware that lots of you will have missed time at school because you've been at home ill or isolating, and it doesn't matter how hard the school works to try and send work home or make sure there's an online connection, it is just not the same as being in the classroom. Maybe as well you've had teachers who've been off and unwell, and so you've had someone covering the lesson, but again it's not the same as having the person who's the expert telling you all about that particular area of work. So maybe you've sat down to revise for mocks or tests or exams or whatever it may be, and just suddenly thought, actually I don't know anything about that bit because the teacher was away or I was away. So maybe one of the ways that we can help each other is by sharing the knowledge that we have. So if, for example, you sit in biology next to somebody else and they missed a few weeks of school before Christmas because they were ill, why not show them what they missed? Why not talk them through it and take them through it? Share your knowledge, share the skills that you've picked up so that they also are up to speed and haven't missed out. Maybe as well, if there's something you've missed out on or something where you just feel a bit shaky, look around your classroom and think, who could I ask? Who's really good here? Because actually it can help us to consolidate our learning if we teach what we know to somebody else. So that's another way I think that we can respond. The last thought that I've got is, like I said, January is a really miserable month and a lot of people are feeling quite flat. So maybe we need to look out for each other and just plan to do something fun together. Doesn't have to be significant. It could be as simple as saying, why don't you come over on Saturday? We'll watch Netflix or get Uber Eats or do some gaming or film a TikTok video. Just something that might make us smile or feel good or feel that we're not alone. So again, think about your friendship group. Think about the people you sit next to. Is there anybody that you think might be feeling a bit flat? And could you just reach out and invite them to do something and laugh together and do something fun? I think it's interesting that both Christian wisdom and scientific research say the same thing. They say that life is easier and better if we share it, if we rely on each other and if we work together. So it could be a tough few weeks and months. It will get better, it definitely will. But in the meantime, why don't we try and stick together and have each other's backs? Thanks for listening.